Hello, my teacher friends. Thanks for coming back today. Hey, I wanted to bring to you part 2 of the videos in my notebooking series. So the last time we got together, I shared with you how to take just a regular, plain old boring spiral notebook and turn it into a tool that your kids can use in order to help them understand exactly how they're doing in every single subject. All right, so the last time we met, we started this part already. So this was already done. We created the title page. We created these 4 columns to document exactly when the date of the assignment was, what the assignment was, what page number it was on, and whether or not students got graded on it, and if they did, what that grade was. So in the first video, I had mentioned to you that sometimes we've got worksheets that kids do, whether they are for practice or whether they're for a grade or whatever. So I wanted to share with you what we do with those pages, because obviously the worksheet is not in the notebook. So I want to talk with you about how easy it is for you to make sure that everything that you give a student in a particular subject area can all live in that notebook. So we're going to take this activity. Excuse me. This activity right here is literally an assignment that I do with my kids like on the very first day of class. So I love it because it's super creative. It allows the kids to be creative if they so choose. So here's the deal. So what I tell them is this. I set it up. So all the kids need is a blank sheet of notebook paper that you'll provide them, and then they could use crayons or colored pencils or markers or whatever works best for you. You decide for yourself. And then the last thing they'll need at the very end is, or when they get it back after you take it just a peek at it, is a glue stick. So what I tell my kids is this. All right, in your mind's eye, I want you to think about this. When I say to you, what does a scientist look like? Put that picture in your head and just think about it for a second. What does the hair look like? Facial features, clothing, maybe there's equipment. Just what does that look like in your mind? And then I'm going to stop and I'm going to give the kids about 30 to 60 seconds of what we call private reasoning time. Now, I'll be honest with you, PRT is a strategy that honestly is typically painful for me because it literally requires the entire classroom to be, I know, I totally struggle with this, and so do my kids. At any rate, so I say to them, all right, guys, you have about 30 to 60 seconds. Just conjure that image up in your head and think about as many details as you possibly can. So in your mind, you're keeping track of the time going by, right? 30 to 60 seconds, whatever you can do best, right? And then all the papers have already been passed out, and you just say to them, all right, to your very best ability, fill out this entire page with as many details as you possibly can. What does a scientist look like? All right, go. And then as they're working, you just circulate throughout the room and remind them it doesn't have to be just one thing. They could create anything they want, just whatever that image is in their head. And we're going to use that actually for a later discussion. So, all right, you give your kids time, they enjoy, you could do a follow-up share, all those things. You can decide how to work that in your classroom. But what I want to show you is, what do you do with this once you've looked at it and you're like, oh, that's kind of fun, and you kind of prep for your next conversation about this. What do you do with this when you're ready to give it back to the kids? Okay, so I have an example here of a project that my own son did, and this is what his idea of what a scientist looks like. Okay, now he did not follow the directions of covering the entire page, but that's okay. Not everybody wants to, and it's really not an art contest. It's just an idea to start off with about, and then having some conversation as a follow-up. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Now, previously in our notebook, as I shared with you on the last video, the very first thing we did was we actually put that title, what does a scientist look like? And it says here that it's going to be on page 1. So in our notebooks, when you're ready to give this back to kids, you have them turn to page 1, just like this, set the notebook down right in front of them, and here's what they're going to do with their piece. They're going to take this piece and fold it just so that there is about an inch or a half an inch right there at the top. Or you could just have them fold it completely in half. It truly doesn't matter, however you want to do it, okay? I'm just going to fold this one completely in half, and then I'm going to crease it so that it looks just like this, right? Open it up, here's the picture, okay? Now, at the top of the picture, on the back, and definitely, my friends, demo this to your students before they do anything, because then you're going to have kids saying, wait, where do I put the glue? Which way do I fold? All the things. You already know that part, right? Okay, so using my glue stick, I'm looking at the back side of the piece that I've given back to them with this first assignment, or this could be for any test or whatever worksheet that you have that you want to house in your notebook, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. On the back side with my glue stick, I'm simply going to run a glob of glue right across the back, okay? And you could make it like, I don't know, 1/2 inch wide or so, because ultimately we want it to be able to stick to the page, okay? Then we're going to take the notebook. You can see where some of my glue already got there. And I'm not going to glue it this way because look at this, guys. It doesn't fit, right? So you're going to turn it to the side and you're going to paste it below the title just like that. All right, let me stick it in here and just show you. Okay, I've got this pasted on the side, and look at that. I'm going to fold it up, and here's my assignment. So in my science notebook with my first assignment, here's what my notebook looks like, right? There's nothing hanging out. There's nothing that falls out because you glued it in, right? But yet if I open up to my title page, or my table of contents really, I've got my assignment here and what page number it's on. So I go and I look at page number 1. Here's what page number 1 looks like, but yet I can unfold it and have some conversation about it. Okay. All right, my friends, that is it for this video. Super quick, right? Super easy. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment and I will answer whatever questions you have. And then I will be back for part 3 to give you some more info on how to make these super, super user-friendly so that your kids will be able to articulate exactly how they're doing in every single content area that you use this strategy for. All right. Have a great day. Thanks so much for following, and I look forward to chatting with you next time.